Welcome to Destination Michigan. We celebrate the people and places that make Michigan a great place to live. Sit back and enjoy tonight's edition of Destination Michigan.
Support for Destination Michigan is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, maroon and gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com. The CMU Bookstore, online at cmubookstore.com, on campus in the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the CMU Events Center. And by Country Smokehouse in Elmont, offering a selection of gourmet meats including homemade sausage and jerky. Also available, custom catering and weekend outdoor barbecues. Information at countrysmokehouse.com. Tonight on Destination Michigan.
When visitors come, young and old, we really want them to be engaged with the exhibitions.
What do a mint plantation, a Gibson guitar, a checkered cab, and an 1800s land rush have in common? Find out as we visit the Kalamazoo Valley Museum.
I've never seen more happy people as when you pull up with an animal.
We'll hitch up the horses and take a ride with Abraham's Carriage service in Mesick.
This time on Destination Michigan, we're going to one of my favorite little towns, Holly, Michigan, and we're headed to the Villagers Restaurant.
Hello and welcome to Destination Michigan. We live by the motto here at Destination Michigan that we'll show you great people and places from Timbuktu to Kalamazoo. Well, we probably won't make it to Timbuktu, but tonight Sarah Adams does take us to Kalamazoo. On Sarah's final journey with us on Destination Michigan before she heads into the classroom as a member of the CMU Broadcast and Cinematic Arts Department, she'll take us to the Kalamazoo Valley Museum. To Kalamazoo we go to kick off tonight's edition of Destination Michigan.
If I were to ask you what a mint plantation, this Gibson guitar, a checker cab like this one, and an 1800s land rush all have in common, you might be surprised to learn the answer is Kalamazoo, Michigan. To learn more, we headed to the Kalamazoo Valley Museum in the heart of downtown. This place is incredible, with displays on science and technology, various local people, and stories from the past.
It's kind of a unique collaboration of topics and subjects. What makes us special, though, is not just the emphasis on the hands-on component. So when visitors come, young and old, we really want them to be engaged with the exhibitions.
They even have a real-life mummy from ancient Egypt. But then there's the history that's a lot closer to home.
The Michigan land fever is part of a speculative boom in land in about 1834 to 36. It's actually happening across the country. There's a great deal of interest in buying federal land. We had to buy it from the federal government at a federal land office, and they were all over the country. So we had huge numbers of people rushing in to buy land.
Onto this scene came town father Titus Bronson.
He comes out here, he decides that he will buy a chunk of land that is basically downtown Kalamazoo right now. He's eventually bought out. The people who buy him out and who persuade the Michigan Territorial Legislature to change the name of the village from Bronson to Kalamazoo, they will accuse him of a lack of an entrepreneurial spirit.
As the 19th century came to a close, Kalamazoo was becoming a thriving community and attracted an entrepreneur named Albert Todd.
He becomes interested in mint agriculture and finding varieties of mint that will grow in Michigan. He gets the nickname the Mint King. He probably controls 90% of the market for mint oils nationally at the time. Becomes a quite wealthy man with it.
And this is how our story comes full circle to the museum that's here today.
He had a great deal of interest in antiquities, in the written word, and then in fine art and the like. And he himself and his hired agents began to scour the globe for the sort of things that he liked to collect. As he knew he was approaching the end of his life in the 1920s, he told the city of Kalamazoo that if they would set aside a dedicated building to be a museum, he would leave the bulk of that collection to what would become the Kalamazoo Public Museum. And so we still have a substantial portion of Mr. Todd's collection that he donated. The museum would exhibit everything that he had, from Babylonian cuneiform tablets to modern 19th century pottery, Wedgwood and things like that, Asian, Oriental collectibles, so on and on.
As for the town itself, as time passed, its unique name was gaining recognition all over the world.
Poets have used it, children's stories have used it. There's a children's book called From Kalamazoo to Timbuktu. It shows up in the most famous, of course, being Glenn Miller, an otherwise forgettable movie called Orchestra Wives, where it wins the Academy Award for that year for song.
Kalamazoo had more stories unfold here. If you've ever watched classic films, you've probably seen a checker cab. The owner of that company started out in Chicago, where a rivalry with another company got violent.
That included shooting at cab drivers, bombing of homes and things, and Mr. Markham decided that perhaps he should move his production facilities and his family out of Chicago during that. Mr. Markham came here, and from 1922 through the 1970s produced the famous checker cabs, a variety of models, of course, over the years, right here in Kalamazoo.
And then there's the story behind that guitar we saw earlier. Meet Orville Gibson.
Orville Gibson comes to Kalamazoo in, well, we think about 1873, 74. And early on, we know he's a musician. He was going to come up with a better mandolin, the most popular fretted stringed instrument of its day. He does, in fact, come up with a mandolin that impresses musicians everywhere, wins a gold medal at some exposition in Paris, and the like.
And this was, in many ways, the start of another famous company, Gibson Guitar.
He didn't really start the Gibson company. It was a group of other investors who went to him and said, you know, you got a good reputation, and machine tooling has come a long way. We could mass produce your instruments and we could all do quite well. And so he agreed to sell his patent rights. Musicians everywhere use Gibson guitars. We have always had to reinvent ourselves in some way or shape or form to maintain being a vibrant, healthy city. So our initial, we were a frontier outpost. But we also take advantage of resources like the bog iron in the Kalamazoo River. That becomes the basis of a metalworking industry that will be a part of Kalamazoo's economic growth and industrial development right on into the early years of the 20th century. And a number of companies that made products out of metal brought skilled metal workers to the community. During the days when we may have had the paper industry here, when it was not all that expensive to ship your raw material in, we became the paper city. The paper city prospers till the 1950s, and it dies out. But in the meantime, we've got other industries that have taken their place. As time went by, different industries flourished, died out, but then somebody else was there with an entrepreneurial spirit, with an inventive spirit to help the city grow. We've tried to incorporate some reference to all of that in the history gallery, and the hope is that when you come to the end of the gallery, we've got a place where you can sit around, look what others have done, and say to yourself, well, now I'm a part of this community, what can I do? There is a place at the end where we give you those little magnetic word things that you can hang up, and it's like, well, what can I be? And then you try to answer the question, I am this, I can do that.
You can learn more about Kalamazoo's history, the museum itself, and even find out how you can follow their Egyptian mummy on Twitter, all by visiting their website. Our next stop tonight will remind us of a time where coaches, wagons, bobsleds, and sleighs are the major modes of transportation. Even in today's hustle and bustle world, Abraham's Carriage service has been providing horse-drawn services throughout Michigan for almost 20 years. To Mesick we go to saddle up the horses as we clippity-clop down the road to continue tonight's edition of Destination Michigan.
There isn't anywhere you can go that you don't have a smile. It lights them up. It doesn't matter if you're doing funerals or weddings. As soon as they see you, it's like something comes over them and the lights turned on and they're happy. I've never seen more happy people as when you pull up with an animal. We service all northern Lower Michigan. We do a variety of events, weddings, funerals, receptions, anniversaries, proms, anything you can think of. Sleigh rides is our winter event. We do fall color tours, spring rides through the summer. Our very first carriage was this one. It was an Amish buggy. It had a hard wood top on it. We took the top off. We had a convertible top made, patent leather fenders. Turned this into our very first wedding carriage. Our second one was the white carriage on the end, which is a vis-a-vis. It come out of Quebec, Canada. The next white one is a vis-a-vis as well, but it's interchangeable. My daughter India designed the top and we had it built in Traverse City, Michigan. And that is now our Cinderella coach, which is mostly used at Castle Farms. And then this is our people mover we use in town for parades. We use it for wedding parties, for the second coach if they need something for that. This carriage here, this black one, is from the old White Inn Hotel from downtown Traverse City. We have the original sleigh as well. 2 sleighs can run on or off snow. We run them downtown with Santa Clauses, all the winter events, tree light-ins, and then we also do the romantic sleigh rides out of the home here. Takes about an hour and a half. We go a little under 7 miles. And then, of course, our farm wagons, we do birthday parties, fall color tours through the Yuma Hills, and we run about 5 to 7 miles on that. It takes anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. We keep my husband busy, taking care of the equipment, help keeping and maintaining it, and then me and my daughter, we both go usually opposite directions. She'll go north, I'll go south. We have several people that work with us as headers, and they help us do the load and unload, and they head the horses when people are getting on and off, just for safety aspects. And we just keep her going. We have horse will travel.
For more information about Abraham's Carriage Service, you can visit them online at abrahamscarriageservice.com. And now, our final stop of the night. Our Bob Garner has introduced us to his favorite people and his favorite places during our first 4 years. But tonight, in Bob's final segment as a contributing producer of Destination Michigan, he's going to introduce us to his favorite food. And in true Bob Garner style, he'll have some of his favorite people meeting in one of his favorite places to bring home the bacon in what Bob is calling, and so it is, the pretty darn good bake-off. Bob invited Ebel's General Store in Falmouth, Allward's Market in Hale, and Plath's Meats in Rogers City to fight like a pig in a poke to claim the Destination Michigan Best Bacon in the State title. To Villager's Family Restaurant in Holly we go, as Bob Garner and some of his favorite people team up to bring you the pretty darn good bake-off as we wrap up tonight's edition of Destination Michigan.
Tonight on Destination Michigan, we're holding a contest, sort of a contest, to settle an argument, really, of who makes the best bacon around. We're calling it our pretty darn good bake-off. Here's how this pretty darn good bake-off came about. All of us who work on Destination Michigan are real darn fond of pork products, bacon being at the tip-top of our list. Frankly, I've never met a bacon that I didn't like, and Mark Ebels from Ebels Family Grocery at Falmouth in Mesick County makes a bacon that is just super, and I eat it on a regular basis. What's the secret to making a good bacon?
Good cure, develop the cure, good smoke.
The cure, you mean the brine or
the brine, yeah, and the salts and sugars that you put on it. Let that cure develop, and then you get that good, sweet, salty taste, yeah.
Kurt Wilson, who hosts this show and hails from Hale, Michigan, says that the most wonderful bacon he has ever had was made at Allward's in Hale, and he has inhaled it most of his life. Bob Allward is here to observe the bake-off too. Is your bacon your favorite product that you make there?
It's our best-selling product. Yeah, it's I like bacon. I've always been a bacon eater. It's our best-selling product, yeah.
John Plath of Rogers City is here representing Plath's Meats, who make a smoked loin and, of course, bacon that is shipped to Smoke Week fans in all 50 states. They also advertise that they make the best bacon in the nation, and I wouldn't be surprised. What do your customers tell you about your bacon?
The best advertising is word of mouth, and that comes from your customers. They just love it. They rant and rave over it.
Mike Rulig and his brother Mark have owned restaurants for most of their adult life, serving up tens of thousands of pounds of bacon. I asked him, how do these three brands rate?
I wish one of these three bacons were available to me on a 7-day-a-week process so we could just cook it and serve it to our customers. They are outstanding bacons.
Do you have any feel for how this contest is going to go, or can you tell me?
No, I don't have any feel for it at all.
They're all three that good?
Yeah, they're all three that good, and I'd be very surprised if there's not pretty even judging across the board on these.
Rick Shadisky is the former head of WCMU Public Television, but he retired in January. He's always tried to avoid the limelight, but the smell of sizzling bacon brought him here today. Courtney Brooks, who you've seen on many CMU public television productions, has eaten bacon almost every way, including on ice cream. And don't let her svelte slimness fool you. She could out-eat me any day of the week. And Jenny Olson, co-host of Michigan Out of Doors, who is eminently qualified, as her family at one time raised 1,200 Duroc pigs. I'll also be judging too and loving every bit of it. 4 recipes to determine which of these 3 bacons will take home the honor of being declared as the best Sultan of Sizzle. Mike, I am ready, I am ready, I am ready. Are the recipes ready?
I think they are ready, Bob. Let's get started.
Recipe number 1, bacon en naturel, sliced to perfection.
Sliced and grilled and coming in on the plate.
Okay, folks, start your engines. So, red, yellow, blue.
They're all good in their own different way.
Okay, do we have a verdict?
No, not yet.
Oh. What are you picking?
I'm picking blue.
Blue? Okay, and it's like choosing between 3 kids. It's almost impossible. I'm taking that one, the yellow one.
Okay.
I'm taking the yellow one. Courtney, speak up.
Yellow.
Yellow? Who's gone with the yellow?
I'm gonna go with the yellow.
And you gotta go with the yellow. So we have 3 yellows and 1 blue. We have no idea who the winner was. We know it was yellow, but we don't know who that is because it's got a blind taste here. But we do know one thing for sure. We're going on right now to recipe 2. Recipe number 2, a breakfast combination.
Mark is going to take a slice of bacon. He's going to put a pancake next to it with some homemade maple syrup, and they'll get an opportunity to try the bacon as a breakfast.
Breakfast time.
Oh my.
So Bob, was this like your dream shoot right here? This is If anyone could ask you to.
No, I can't tell you what my dreams are. But it could involve bacon. Oh. Rick, let's give us a rundown. Which one? All good, weren't they?
I would have to go with red this time. I kind of like the smoky flavor that the red seems to have, and it goes well with the pancakes. And yeah, kind of like the mix. Okay. I'd go with red.
Red? Courtney?
I vote blue.
You go blue? Go blue. It sounds like a U of M.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you like about
it?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I know.
This is good. Except for the last bite.
I happen to agree with you. I think the blue, again, tough choice, but it was blue.
Wow. And for me, it was yellow this time.
Yellow?
I know. I like the thick cut. It just seemed to go well dipped in syrup, too.
Wow. Wow, all different tastes. Of course, we're dealing with pretty top-notch stuff. And we know one thing, it's going to get better even, because we've got coming up recipe number 3. And the old standby is recipe number 3, a BLT?
BLT on a homemade bun that Mark baked this morning. Lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. Crispy bacon. Can't beat it for a lunch item.
Can't get past the fresh baked roll this thing's on.
Oh. You know, I've been a member of the Clean Plate Club since 1953. I don't remember ever having this much fun. And I'd say it's about as close a call as we've had. Okay, Jenny, you started off this time. What are you picking? That was a close call, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a very close call.
It's the yellow for me, and that was I had to eat almost all of each sandwich before I got to the
It's a tough job, isn't it? Yeah, me too. Yellow for me, too. And how about you, Courtney?
Yellow.
Yellow, 3 yellows, and Rick?
Red.
Red. Well, 3 out of 4 of us agree that this time in a close contest that yellow is the winner. Yellow is the winner. So we haven't determined the best bacon yet, but we know we're going to be a little bit closer to it because the next one coming up is round 4. And the next item I am really looking forward to, a little seafood combination.
Bacon wrapped scallop. A U20 scallop, 22 a pound, so a good size, a little smaller than a golf ball, bacon wrapped around the edge of it, baked in the oven with a little marinade. Great dinner item.
Oh my, oh my.
You're welcome.
A little rice too. Oh my God.
Oh, this is so good.
How are you doing, folks? We made any judgments yet?
Everything is best of the best.
Oh my God. Rick, which one did you pick?
Blue.
Blue. Blue with the smoky taste again?
No, I don't know what it was, but the two together were perfect.
2 of them were absolutely perfect?
Absolutely perfect.
What about you, Courtney?
I picked blue too. I don't know what it was, but I just took a bite into it and it was fantastic. So
Probably haven't eaten anything any better, really. That was great, wasn't it?
It was really, really good.
Well, I say that because I came up with the blue also, so.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I picked red. It had like a sweet kind of taste to it that time with the scallop in there.
Really?
And I really liked that, yeah.
Well, cool. We have not been unanimous, and that just shows you how close this contest is, and what it's come down to, because the last recipe, the 5th one that we haven't even seen yet, and we really don't know what it is coming up right now. The secret recipe. Number 5. Number 5 taste test is going to be what, Mike?
It's going to be a bacon dessert item. It's going to be a piece of salty caramel cheesecake with caramel and chocolate, and then crispy bacon crumbled up and topped over the entire piece of cheesecake. Something we hope maybe that somebody will actually see it and come in and ask us if we'd make them one.
Bob, look at that bite right there. It's got caramel, chocolate, and bacon.
I should do this for a living, Courtney.
He's a professional eater.
Maybe the red section, but it's not the cheap seats. Okay, it is verdict time here. The last recipe. Let's start off with Rick.
Got to pick red. I hit the red part, and it was magic.
It was magic?
It was magic.
And how about you, Madam Courtney?
I'm voting red. Not for the same reasons as Rick, but I'm voting red.
Oh, it was good, wasn't it?
It was good.
They were all good, though, weren't they?
The whole thing was good.
Oh, the whole thing was good. Who'd have thought it?
Bob, my first bite was the most memorable, and that was blue.
That was
Can't
blue?
forget the first bite of a bacon cheesecake.
Two reds and a blue. Two reds and a blue. And I actually I'm going yellow.
Wow.
So it looks like red was victorious, but we had two reds, a blue and a yellow. So that's, boy, this is very, very difficult to do. A very difficult thing to do to judge this. So what we'll do now is we'll maybe clean up our plates a little bit, and we will be right back with the verdict. You're not going to believe this, folks. Okay, 4 judges, 5 dishes. That's 1 vote per judge per dish. That's 20 total votes. And here's the way it came out. Ebels got 7 of the 20 votes. Allwards got 6 of the 20 votes. And Plath's got 7 of the 20 votes. That is statistically dead even. We have not resolved a single thing trying to decide what is the best bacon, but we have had one world of a good time, and we want to especially thank Plath's and Ebels and Allwards for making this first pretty darn good bake-off a real success. Thanks a lot, and maybe we'll do it again next year.
Good idea.
I'm in.
You're in?
Yes.
You in too, Jenny?
I'm in. I know the Villagers is in.
And I'm coming back for it.
And you can get your bacon fix from Ebels at ebelsgeneralstore.com, Allwards at allwardsmarket.com, and Plath's at plathsmeats.com. And find out more about Villager's Family Restaurant at villagerrestaurant.com. Well, tonight we say not goodbye, but so long until next time to our friends and fellow Destination Michigan producers, Bob Garner and Sarah Adams. Bob is headed into semi-retirement. Sarah is headed to the classroom. Their vision and storytelling has taken us on some fantastic journeys, and their friendships will always be treasured. So we'll leave you with a look at scenes that didn't make it to the show, but leave us with a smile as we say thanks and so long to Bob and Sarah.
Hi, I'm Bob Garner, and today, this week on Destination Michigan, we're going to take you to here on Michigan Out of Doors tonight.
Michael Shepard calling in from Fisher. I'm sorry, Michael Fisher calling in from Shepard. I apologize. Is that caffeine again? I'm Sarah Adams, along with my good friend John Scheffler. I almost called you John Denver. This is not John Denver. This is John
If I had $1
Scheffler.
for every time that happened.
Anyway, we're here in our studio.
I'd have $1.
Thanks, Sarah. Next up, we introduce you to the...
She always does.
Was that okay? Was that okay, or did I? Was that okay? Courtney, was that okay? My hair's flying away today. He's touching me. I want to go home.
Yes, we're up. All right, you guys are ready.
Oh, ouch. Why don't we get back to the program?